Hello.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
me, Banshee. Welcome to the show, everybody. So,
And a lively chat room. Thank you for those.
if
And Shirley, our hearts go out to you. We have actually been there before. I don't know if you wanted to mention it.
I did, but I thought I'd wait till your reading to talk more about that, but that's
Okay.
okay. But yeah, I guess we have time to talk now more than later. So I would say, yeah, it's really difficult what caregivers go through, but particularly dementia caregivers. My mother was always a fighter in her life, fighting for her autonomy, fighting for whatever she wanted. It had to be her way. And so it should be no surprise that she fought us over guardianship because she still had some semblance of herself there, enough to sometimes fool doctors. But
Hi, Empress.
when it came down to it, we were able to get guardianship pretty easily.
And we really
But we
needed
had
to.
to go through those
We totally needed
motions.
to.
Yeah, we totally needed to. So
Thank you.
I sympathize with you greatly. I mean, I went through this for the, almost 15 years.
Yeah, it was a long
So
time.
she was a long term dementia patient. Anyway, so yeah, it's rough.
Welcome to the program, everybody. I see Empress has joined us.
Hi, Empress.
You're pretty beautiful too.
Well, I'm staying in the outfit I wore yesterday, a house dress of sorts, because it's damn hot in here. And I want to wear something cooler. And even though this is black, hey, I'm indoors. The sun isn't reflecting on it. It's cool. So,
Most nearly all shades are closed and the air is on, and the cats are all upstairs where it's a bit warmer, so that's curious.
well, Shadow sticks by my bathroom,
Thank you.
which is the only place the air conditioning up there, the central air kicks in a little bit. And so I think she gets a little relief there. And she's the long hair. So,
You look lovely according to Jackie.
oh, why, thank you. It's all black, but the all black is also for other reasons. I'm very anti war, okay? So, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not getting into the politics of it, but I do oppose what just happened, what just took place in the US, largely because it wasn't done legally. We have procedures here and they're not being followed. So I don't want to get into anything more than that, but I am opposed.
All right, so we are pulling the card for the collective.
All right. Ah, I never wear much black, really. Actually, I have some. It seems like all of our old rock and roll T-shirts and that. A lot of those were black, with the logos on them and different things. I decided to pull a card for us today, and it's very interesting. Considering all the drama and craziness going on in the world today, that I would pull this card. Support. Ask for help. Get more rest. Nurture yourself. And by the way, I am using the beautiful, really beautiful Oracle of the Unicorns. Hey, it's still summer solstice season and it's a magical time. Why not bring out the unicorns again? Feeling tired, burnt out, overwhelmed, or overworked is a call to lighten your load and recharge your batteries. Your energy levels are low, and it's proving counterproductive to getting things done or being there for others. You may feel you have to do everything yourself or don't know who to ask for help. A part of you could be addicted to the adrenaline rush of stress and hustle. Oh, been there, done that, not anymore. You may even feel it is a sign of weakness to slow down or that you don't deserve to be nurtured. You have nothing to prove by working yourself too hard or by sacrificing yourself by doing everything alone. The winged horse urges you to ask for help, to get more rest, and to be loving to your body. Schedule in non negotiable time for naps, set boundaries around your work hours, and make getting a good night's sleep a priority. Hire an assistant or other team members for your business. Spend the day at a spa, book in for a massage or other body treatment, or simply take a day off to do nothing. Ask your friends and family for help with your kids, or invest in additional childcare or a nanny. You are worthy of this support. The extra energy you will have as a result will be worth the time and money you spent to give it to yourself. You know, we spend money on a lot of things maybe that we don't need. Why not spend it on some support that you may need? And, you know, and speaking as a former caregiver, it took a village. I mean, it took a number of people to watch my mom, you know, and as she lived at home still. And then when we even got her into assisted living, we had to keep track of everything with her care. And so I think here this is just a call to say if you need help, seek it out. Whatever your issue is, you know, seek it out because you don't have to do everything alone and nor should you be expected to. I know a lot of us may be single, maybe on our own, maybe an only sibling, for example, if you are a caretaker to an elder relative, but there are support agencies out there that can help you.
All right, so that's for all who need that. And if you don't ask, then you can't get any help.
That's right. Good luck with that. Okay. Hi, Mysterious Queen. Hi, Siama. Who else have I missed? I think that's it.
Empress.
Oh, I got Empress on the
Okay.
list. So I have
So
to.
it's Siama and Mysterious Queen.
Yep.
All right, so I'll start the ball rolling
And
with
it's
the
Jackie.
first one.
All right. I'll be
And that
posting
was
the other
Jackie.
list.
Good question, because I've had astrologers talk to me about those kind of things. Some astrologers have seen karmic issues from possible past lives. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to read that one aloud.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, have any illnesses or conditions I have in this life been brought over from a past life?
All right. Let's see what your cards say.
Okay, so I'm going to use the Secrets Tarot. That would seem like a okay choice to use. Just a standard three-carder.
Yeah. And we're going to be using, I might bring out that past life energy when I have it here. And we're going to be using the Lenormand, the Tales for Tomorrow, Lenormand by MJ Cullinane. We're going to share it today. We're going to just use one deck.
So that's fine. That's just one.
Let's see where that other deck is. I know I saw it here, yes. Just in case we need it or I feel the urge.
So we start with the Two of Wands, which is upright.
Two of Wands upright. Okay.
The next card is the Emperor reversed. And then the final card is the Knave or Page of Wands, which is also reversed.
That could have carried over into this life.
Right.
Well, maybe I do see maybe something here. Um, do you see something right away? I mean, I have something, but I want to kind of.
Not sure that it's very specific. Is it about the Emperor?
No, I think it's more. That's the page, right?
Yes.
The Page of Wands. I kind of feel here when I saw that card that there may be something that carries over that affects your energy levels, you know. It might be that you get, you know, you might be able to get things, projects, and goals started, but you seem to lose the energy to complete them. And I mean, this could be because of a health condition from a past life where, it affected your energy. Maybe you had a weakened immune system, or you had some kind of chronic ailment that affected your energy levels. It could be a blood ailment, comes to mind here. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else here that might lead me to that. Not well, you've got another wand. Fire. I think of fire and I think of energy and I think of our energy levels. I don't know if I necessarily think of blood, but isn't there a saying about something like the fire in your blood, right? Something like that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm sort of sensing it could be something like that because I do know people who have, various blood disorders, and mine in particular, we do tend to be lacking energy.
Well, there's one thing that I'm seeing that I think it took me a while to kind of say, what is this really? And it's the Two of Wands here. And I'm thinking, like, maybe this past life was enlightened enough for you to realize that maybe this was a condition you weren't through with and that you saw it moving beyond. Or, of course, this could be saying you realize this now that if you don't resolve what this issue is, this condition may still move on into yet another life. And that's the Two of Wands kind of idea there.
I was also getting some odd other thoughts here. The Two of Wands is about travel or movement. And so, a lot of times. And so, I was kind of thinking to myself, maybe, in a previous life, you had some kind of illness related to trips or travels that you took. You went to another culture or place and you got ill, from something that was endemic there. And it could be that it affected your energy levels. It could be that it really laid you low. When you have the Emperor reversed here, the Emperor reversed as a lack of control. It's almost as if whatever happened to you, you really had no way to really control it, which makes me wonder it was either chronic or it was something that kept getting progressively worse.
Well, when I'm looking at the Emperor reversed, I'm almost wondering too if another idea I feel here is that in these possible past lives, no one was able to help you, no one was able to give you good advice.
That
And that's part of the reason why this imprint keeps happening, because maybe there was something that was, I don't want to say totally psychosomatic about it, but somehow karmically tied to your lives and or relations with other people. And so the not resolving of it quite in the past seems to have always indicated it's just going to keep coming back. And it is or seems to be a condition that really you need to have somebody who can really help you control it, that it can't be resolved or taken care of necessarily by your own changes in health practices, that there may need to be some sort of kind of intervention.
Well, I like kind of what he said there, in that I think that maybe if there's a particular past life that has impacted, this kind of karmic thing the most, it could be because it was a place where medicine was not all that standardized,
That's a good point.
yet. And so, you really didn't get the best of care to try to even get control over the situation. Well, that's odd. I want to see what this says. This card that I pulled was a card of wealth and entitlement, too. It seems to me like whatever life you were in, and this also shows how we as humans, hey, health is often the great equalizer here. Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Today, in this day and age, you can buy better health care, if you're rich. But the bottom line is we all succumb. to age related diseases and other diseases that, doctors can only do so much for, whether you have the money to treat them or not. And so I feel here this might have came from a time of a life where you felt very entitled, you had some wealth, and you felt that you should have been able to be healed or cured. It's about abundance and entitlement. And so I'm curious about the karmic shift. Um, it really is more about money, but I think what it really ought to say to you is this, that money isn't everything and health is everything. And that's the bottom line here. So whether in this life you may have felt you should have been able to be cured, and maybe even so, this is why the cycle repeats, because you may feel that this should have been done, and maybe someday it will be. But I don't know. I have a feeling that whatever this is, it may be presenting in a different way today.
Okay, and I didn't really say much myself about the Page of Wands, so reverse. So I'm going to say that this seems
Uh-huh.
to indicate to me that this is something that's not going to be easy for you to find out. We haven't really given you
No.
a lot of great information, but whatever the implication from the past life is, it may still take a while for you to realize that that answer hasn't really come through yet. I don't know if that helps or not.
Yeah. But that's the best I can do. Sometimes these cards are not as helpful as I thought they would be. They might be better suited to a, specific life reading. But I do think there might be a connection here. And, just seeing that we had the Emperor card in the reading, there's a certain class
Yeah,
associated.
I know. I sort of felt a resonance towards that
Yeah,
card.
and
Yeah.
that's why when I saw that, I could see kind of a connection there. So, but even then, if we're talking about going back to tribal days or medieval days or whatever, there was wealth back then for, the people in power. But, healthcare
Did we not throw the Lenormand?
wasn't always the best. No, we didn't do the Lenormand. So
Hold
let's,
for the Lenormand.
okay.
And you're welcome, of course. I hope it does. It just sort of seems like the karmic reasons may not be very clear from our point of view, or even maybe necessarily something you may easily find out. Maybe there's something deeper there. I know it kind of feels like a cop out for me to say that,
Hmm.
but
Well, maybe there's some karma here. I don't know.
mountains,
I think maybe what it's
the
saying is
anchor.
that
Ooh.
you're kind of anchored in something that was connected to these health issues in the past life. And, it is presenting some challenges to you in this life. We can't say for sure why. I mean, to me, it might be possible because maybe you felt entitled to be cured. Maybe what happened, I mean, I am just speculating here, but I wonder if by chance, you were in such a position of authority that when nobody could do anything to help you, you punished them. And so it's possible here because you felt so entitled that why didn't these people heal you? And so it's possible today that you're facing
It
some of the
costs that card
challenges
for some.
related to that. I don't know, but just some thoughts. So if you can think of other things like that could be the reason this is still apparently with the anchor here attached to you, I would say do so. Give it some meditative thought, Jackie.
Good luck.
Good luck with that.
That's
Interesting
very
question
interesting.
after all. And Marita is up, and I know she posted a question.
Yes, Marita did post a question. You're welcome, Jackie. Um, A general reading, if possible, yes or no. That's right. If I speak to my manager tomorrow about my concerns, will they expect
We could do the yeah, well, we could
well,
do a regular yes no after. We
the
could.
new one?
No, the regular
The
one.
old one. Okay.
But let's just do the other one first. You wanted a general reading.
All right. So
So I'll
that's
do
your
that with
deck.
my cards. So I would say pick out a deck you can tell the aces easily. When we do the yes no, I'll let you do
Okay.
that.
My, how nice of you to say that.
I switched out a couple of
I
my
can't
decks
see.
and put some new ones in, but I haven't gotten very far. I got to do
How
more.
are you today? Not bad. It's pretty hot around here.
It's oppressively hot around here and humid. It's dangerous. So we are going to lay low today. I went out very little yesterday. I did some quick shopping. I thought it would be before the heat set in. I didn't quite make it. I have no air conditioning in my car right now. So by the time I got home, I was sweating buckets. And, ooh, I won't be doing much of that. Mr. O will have to chauffeur me in his air conditioned car. It's going to be too costly to repair my air in my old car, so I'm not going to do it. When you're talking like nearly $2,000, I'm like, no. Okay, well, Marita, you do have the tower upright. You have the Page of Pentacles upright. Wow. Talk about the good, the bad, and the. Although the Page of Pentacles is not bad, but the Tower. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Somebody really opened my eyes and made me think about the Tower a little bit more today. And the Star upright.
They're not so ugly.
Not so ugly. So it's a funny thing. You know, a lot of time, and I do feel the tower upright still is better than the tower reversed. But, and of course, then there are people who truly believe the tower is good. The tower is always good, upright. But, you know, I saw somebody today who made me think the tower is really, really bad no matter what. And so I like to form a middle ground here with my personal intuition and feelings about the tower. But I had to agree that that person is more to me right than wrong about a few things here. Something, Marita, that you really were hoping for or were working on or planning for is crashing down. It's just not going to happen for you, and maybe it was never meant to, for some reason. You know, this is going to be a learning experience for you, and I think here that you will come out of this okay because the tower is upright. And when the tower is upright, we do take something away from it. But there's no mincing words about the tower, meaning something is going to come to an end and it may make you feel bad or cause a momentary crisis of some sort.
Is this possibly related to the question you want to ask your manager? Maybe. But
Yeah, I don't know.
but it does feel like exactly like what Banshee says, that um, something that almost seemed not able to fall down has fallen
Or
or will
will.
fall.
Or will.
Hi, Jamie's.
Hi, Jamie. We'll get you on the list. And you know, I think it's something different because the Page of Pentacles is here. I mean, it could be about that. Um, but I'm almost thinking this is about something that maybe you really either had a plan in place for or something you were just starting to get off the ground. The Page of Pentacles seems like something maybe that was already underway or you were thinking was a sure thing is not going to be anymore. This looks really positive, but if I'm connecting it with the tower, it's not.
Right. It could be connected. It could not. It
They
could
are.
be indicating that, despite whatever that is, you may have to, apply yourself to learning something new or investigating something. I do sort of feel that glimmer that maybe it's connected and that maybe in the aftermath of whatever, depreciates or has fallen, you realize there are some opportunities or um, a possible way forward. It seems like you have to investigate it though to find out more about it. It's not going to just show up. It's going to be something that maybe comes as a result of you looking for in a way.
I've updated the list to add Kelsey and Jamie's Cowboys. Hi, Kelsey.
Thank you, James. Appreciate your thoughts
Well,
there.
and I think the good news is that you're not going to lose hope. It's not going to totally throw you off your game. The star is here at any rate to remind you that regardless of whatever fall you're going to experience, don't lose hope. The future will look brighter, things will get better. It's just that this was not meant to be for you.
Right, we're doing that right now, actually, Marita. Okay, so
Yeah, Rita, we've been doing your reading.
all right. So in the Lenormand, the first one is the mice, and the second one is possibly you or the Inquirer, the woman.
Well, this is going to trouble you. This is going to stress you out a bit. But there's good news in the mice in that it's only going to be temporary. It's not something that is going to affect you long term. So, whatever you're going to go through is, I'm hoping, is like one and done. So, because the mice is never something that's long lasting. But I will have to say, it's going to affect you and make you stressed out for a little bit of time.
But it almost feels like, in retrospect, once it's over, you'll realize that, it was as easy to resolve as, tossing the trash at the end of the week, which is, of course, the metaphor in the
I don't know about
calendar.
that.
So, well, relatively speaking,
Yeah.
it just feels, that as a general reading goes, there's something that's ending that maybe will have some small reverberations,
Yeah.
but mostly, you're going to get through it. You just have to stay focused on your destiny there. We're going to throw some cards real quick
Yeah, for the yes, no.
for the yes or no, and that was about whether you should ask your manager. I'm going to review that again.
Or if that would turn out okay. Is that what that was?
About your concerns.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, will she take it well? We'll see. It was said a little differently, but I'm pretty sure that's the gist of it.
And I'm using my Lost Soul Tarot. It's one of my newer ones, and it's a little abstractish in a way, so I sort of like it for yes or no questions, perhaps. All right.
Thanks, everybody, for stopping in today on this Sunday afternoon. Well, here. I know it's not Sunday afternoon everywhere. It's a pretty deck.
I like it.
Yeah.
Even though it's Pipsy, I like it.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, I use this deck on a segment of Goth Tarot. I find it's nice for my section on the avatars of our shadows. And I stopped counting, so I need
I'm
to.
sorry. Well, I know you got the second one right. Is that Judgment? It is. Okay. All right. Oh boy.
Okay, it's leaning towards no. You have one ace, which is the reversed Ace of Wands. You have Judgment reversed, and you have the King of Swords reversed.
Wow.
Very curious. So
Might not be a good idea.
it might not be a good idea. It may feel like this is not a time to ask somebody to make decisions or to understand your
Your fault, yeah.
decisions. it may work against you.
You know, because what's really interesting to me about Marita is that both of these cards relate to decision making in a way.
And they're both
Judgment is
reversed.
about somebody being too critical. Okay. So either they're going to look at you that way, that maybe you're just being nitpicky or, not, being too critical, or they're going to be critical about you for bringing up what you're bringing up, your concerns. And with the King of Swords reversed, it indicates it may not be received well. Or
Ooh, and you said about some unfairness, but this is
yeah.
really maybe about possibly unfairness.
Yeah, because the King of Swords here reversed could indicate too, you better give this more thought of how you want to approach
Yeah,
this,
we're not
maybe.
saying no for sure, but it's leaning that way.
It's leaning that way. It may not be taken well. This person might be closed minded, number one. Or this is just saying to you, really think this through. Because maybe you need to give this more thought on how you should approach the manager with this. And judgment reversed indicates to me it won't be received very kindly.
Be careful.
So do be careful with that. I don't know if that's what the tower, Mr. O brought that up. I didn't want to go there because I was thinking more generally, but I can't rule it out, you know? So be careful. All right, that's what we have for you, Marita. Good luck with that.
Good luck, Marita.
We are on Lena now. Hi, Lena. Oops, I passed it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
General for July.
All right, and that's gonna be my deck, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use the Deviant Moon for this one. Hi, Marita. Or Lena, I'm sorry.
Hi, Lena, and you're welcome, Marita.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. Sorry. And one of my colleagues, I'll just say their first name, Caroline, loves the Deviant Moon Tarot and actually has given several courses in it, online classes. It's
That's
an interesting interpretation.
the thing about wearing black. I'm getting cat hair.
General for July. Alrighty. Card the first is the reversed Five of Swords. Ow!
Oh
That's a big
boy.
ouch. More than a big ouch. Then we have the reversed Chariot.
Huh.
And we do have the upright Six of Pentacles.
Well, and this is going to get weirder, but it is a general reading, so there may be more than one thing going on here.
It is the man himself. And the lily of the valley.
Or it could just come together. It could just be that the man is actually signifying Lena, as a significator.
Right, of course.
But let's take a look at this because I almost do see something fitting together with all of that. But all right, so at any rate, phew, I don't know, Lena. There's just some struggles in July. The Five of Wands swords here indicates that the struggle is either with other people or person or within yourself. There could be conflict. Maybe you're in conflict with yourself about trying to do something. I'm going to look at the other cards and decide that. But I feel here there's a conflict, a serious conflict, either out in the world or with you, that you just feel like there's no way to win this situation. I just have to walk away.
I was just going to say that this is really a situation of intense conflicts. You may not be the main involvement, but you're so involved that you would do well to try to figure out how to get away from it.
And in mid-July, Mercury's going retrograde too, so I can't rule out that,
Misunderstandings.
yeah, that's not playing a role here. And of course, with the
Chariot.
Oh gosh, so with the chariot reversed, all right. So you feel like you've got to run from this, but you almost feel like you can't, that you're stuck with this situation. So I don't know if this has to do with
Not
family. I don't know if this has to do with something in the work environment.
not only that are you feeling stuck, but you're also feeling a little like you have no gumption for this fight or this situation. Your
Yeah, I
crown
mean,
is in the
you
turlet.
just feel stalled. And which is odd because then we have the Six of Pentacles here. You need to try to restore some balance and harmony back in the situation. You know, there needs to be more give and take. It just seems as though there's some real unfair. Is that justice or is that?
No, r-
It's the Six of Pentacles.
right.
That's what I thought. There's got to be more give and take. There has to be some common ground reached here. If you're stuck, you've got to try to work towards that. I don't know if it's going to be very easy or possible.
Right, and this may or may not be the same situation. It could be a different situation. It could just be saying, as a part of this, that there's an emphasis on figuring out how to share things. But if it is connected, it may be that you will be influenced or impressed upon that you have to do more to share or to bring balance there. And so, I almost wonder if you have more of a role in this, if it's some sort of ongoing situation, and that's why you are the one to have to figure out where the balance can be restored.
Now, I'm going to throw two things at you with the Lenormand, Lena. I can sense here a possibility that there is, sometimes the lily, when it is with a person, could indicate that's an older person. So I get the feeling here that it's a possibility that an older male might be able to mediate or help you in this situation. They're a long-term ally, or I could say something else here and just say to you that maybe you've been dealing with this situation already for some time, and it's really starting to wear thin here.
Yeah, I didn't know about that kind of convention, but I like the idea there. I get the feeling like it may still take a while to totally rectify, even if this person is able to be an ally, their influence may be measured or not come distinctly exactly as you need it.
Lilies have a quality of innocence about them sometimes, but when it's coupled with certain cards, because it's about longevity, it also talks about senior or older people. And for example, too, if you get this card with the tower, it can talk about a nursing home.
Oh my.
Yeah, stuff like that. So it has that kind of multiple meanings to it. So
So
that's what
that's
we have for you, Lena.
good
Good
luck,
luck
Lena.
with that. We're on Preeti. Hi,
Hi,
Preeti.
Preeti. And I think Preeti wanted a general reading also.
Um, I brought back out my Forest Felines Tarot. A recent purchase in the last year. Oh, okay. Let me see. Hmm. Well, I can't get to the top to see it, but I'll take it as a yes that you wanted a general reading, Preeti, because I can't see your question.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you actually confirm that that was a general reading? Because I couldn't go back to see it. My chat wouldn't go that far. That sometimes happens. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. And it's your Lenormand. It's the page of mushrooms. Mushrooms are pentacles reversed. It's the Ace of Branches, the Ace of Wands, also reversed. Sheesh. And we got Temperance upright. Oh, that's so cute. All right. Well, did I say that was a Page of Mushrooms reversed? So the Page of Pentacles reversed kind of indicates to me that there's going to be some there may be some negative career or financial news coming to you. There may be some disappointing news or something, maybe a project or goal that you wanted to get off the ground. You just can't seem to get it started. Okay, there's the mice. And the anchor's back again. So I think there's just something that's holding you back. And again, with Mercury retrograde, maybe it is just not a good time to get things started. It's not retrograde yet, but I'm pretty sure in the next week or so, it's probably going to start going into its shadow phase. So, this may be a time to just try to ground yourself more, center yourself, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the last card here. You want to go
So,
ahead?
so that's the Page of
Yeah.
Pentacles? Okay, so reversed, it may be also indicating that there's something you need to study more or understand more, that maybe it's not so much like a mystery, though it's possibly a mystery, but it's something that you just don't understand, and that maybe it would help you manage or control or organize things. What's the next one? Ace?
It's the Ace of Wands, yeah, reversed. That's what I'm saying. It's getting something off the ground. I guess in a sense, I'm combining the two. So if you're looking for employment right now, this just seems to be a no-go right at the moment, or there'll be rejections.
Right, things are stymied, as we
Yeah.
say. Things seem to be slow moving, or things you think are starting are just going to be in a kind of delay zone. Um, there's little movement. And of course, if this is about working, career, enterprise, employment, um, things are changing in the world quickly because of, the world situation. This could limit the flow of money or resources for certain things.
Agreed, agreed. And I think here, um,
Temperance.
well, I want to go back to Ace of Wands a minute here, just to say again, to me, this just smacks of what's going on with, the stars and Mercury going retrograde in the month ahead. It just seems hard to get things off the ground. Temperance, go back to the first card again, and just say between the two of them, I think there's a call for you to here to remain balanced, to work on yourself, and to meditate more, to try to calm, any anxieties you may have and any stresses that you're feeling, in this month going forward. I do think this is talking about July in general here. And, temperance is a card of really trying to find some internal balance amidst the turbulence that might be going on in your everyday world right now.
There seems to be a feeling like things are going to be not very stable in the near future for you, and you will have to provide the stability that you can on your own, or you will have to try to apply understanding to all the things that are making you feel insecure. The Lenormand tells me that maybe some of these are mostly minor problems, but the fact that they are sticking around, they may be like, employers are forced to um, take away pay from people or limit pay, or situations that seem to have limitations on you, possibly economically or possibly in other ways. I sort of think this is the result not only just of maybe Mercury retrograde, though I can kind of see that idea there with the anchor, but that the other things that are going on in the overall world are causing some limitations or lack.
I mean, true that. I mean, absolutely, because financial things are going to be really topsy turvy, I think, for a while now. We don't know, everybody thinks, oh, well, we just bombed some nuclear facilities and everything will be okay. No, there'll probably be some financial ramifications from this that we aren't aware of yet. If you think about the whole picture of things, China's relations with Iran, for example, may impact how they want to deal with making agreements with us with tariffs that they might feel are meaningless and could be broken because we can't be trusted. So, there's just I'm just throwing an example out there of how other people may look at things. So, anchor, you are anchored in some stress and anxiety in for the foreseeable future. It is not going to last. Remember, it's the mice. It is not going to last. But I have a feeling July is going to challenge you on an emotional level and on a on other levels. You're going to just experience a bit of anxiety and stress. Don't overwork yourself. Don't get overexcited about things that go wrong. Try to strive for emotional stability. It's the best I can tell you out of this. I wish you
Good luck,
luck.
Lena.
Hey, Shirley.
Hi, Shirley. And I'm so sorry about your mom. I know that's going to be sad
It's tough.
and tough.
Very, very tough. All right. Let me put you back in here. And I'll take
What's your question?
Yeah, it was about the court action, I believe, and something else.
Right.
I don't know if I can go back up there. There it is. If I ask the judge to be my mother's guardian, what will the outcome be? And does she have enough money left to pay everyone she needs to pay and keep her in a cared facility? We will do a yes no on the last part of that. We'll do 3 cards for the first part of that. And we'll do the quick yes no on that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I'm going to use my Tarot of the Origins.
Oh, is that an
No,
easy one?
no, yes, because I finally figured it out and I have the book here.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
I remember.
Well, it isn't really that far off the cuff. It was just maybe a little bit,
You just hadn't worked with it enough, really, to.
yeah, you're
Now
welcome,
you know.
Shirley.
It's a deck I ended up giving him.
Yes.
It just didn't resonate with me, so.
I used it for today's Wondrous Sunday Stories along with the Cosmic Crossroads Oracle. And I think I got a pretty nice reading out of it. So check that out. It's in our various media. Oh, wait, Shirley.
I tell some of the stories about my journey with my mom on our page in my soul stories section.
Yeah, I
There
was going
was
to
some,
mention that too.
there was some deeply metaphysical experiences that happened all the way around with this that really makes the whole journey bittersweet. You will find moments, believe it or not, of joy through this whole thing, Shirley, as sad as it is.
All right. So the first card is the Six of Soul, and that's the Six of Cups.
Okay, that makes sense. The Six of Cups. Okay, and it's upright?
Right.
Oh, it's reversed.
No, it's upright.
Oh, I didn't, I thought it was at the bottom. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
And our next one is the King of Pentacles. It's called the Man of Jewels here. And that's upright. And the final one is the reversed Two of Soul. They have a descriptive word, but I don't see it here, so I'm not going to. So it is basically the reverse Two of Cups. And of course, that kind of goes right to the point that, there sort of is, a cessation of a healthy, trusting, harmonious relationship when somebody, suffers in that
Well,
way. You can't necessarily feel like you really come across to them or they come across to you.
I don't know. I'm getting some mixed signals here, but let's pull this one out too, because this is important.
It's the Mountain,
Because the letter is not
and it's a letter.
necessarily a letter, it could be legal documents.
Yes, that is so true,
So
right?
we'll talk about that. Or legal, maybe a legal order. Okay. So, whew, okay. First question I have for you, Shirley. Are you the only caretaker of your mom? Are you alone in this journey? Does somebody else have custody or power of attorney or might fight you for this? Just curious and wondering. That might be the way that it depends. That may,
Right. Will somebody contest this?
yeah.
Another relative of some sort or somebody else? That's important to know.
Yes, it's legal to the judge and to my brother. Aha. Okay.
So have you
Oh boy.
have you talked with your brother and sister? Do
We need to go no further.
All
Do you
right.
need it?
No, I don't. I think you
Okay.
know what's going on.
Ah, all right. So you have the
Six of Cups.
Six of Cups upright. I think here,
This does talk about that. Sorry.
the loving relationship that you have, a lot is going to depend on the kind of loving relationship you have with your family, with your mom, and I think there's some attachment here to the past, but it's positive. So, I mean, you have to bring out the qualities here. Like, for example, if you are someone who has been there the most for your mom, if you are the one who's taken like front and center in the past, I'll get there. That would work to your advantage in this situation. Go ahead now, Mr. O, with that card.
It's okay. I mean, I think you're only saying kind of what I would have said. Um, there is a sense that this is a shared thing, with the entire family, with these siblings, with these. Mostly, this is a better outlook, or at least as a consideration of where the past was. Did you always have a good relationship with
Careful
her?
with my.
Did they possibly have a better one? Those may be factors.
Well, and then moving, I probably should have went through the whole thing, but
Sure.
what is that one
The
again?
King of Pentacles.
Yes, the King of Pentacles is upright. And so I do think here, if it's not you, somebody needs to better manage the financial situation. You either need an outside mediator, an outside person to manage these finances and do the work, or you need to take charge. I think here that sound financial management is important here from what I'm seeing and from what I see what you're saying too. And you can't let, positive relationships you may have had with your brother, your sister, whatever in the past affect what you're saying here. If they're not doing the job right and other people are telling you that, you have to step in, I'm afraid. You just have to take charge. And ultimately here with the
Two of Cups
it's going to
reversed.
cause a problem. It's going to cause a rift. I think it may be unavoidable here that this could cause a real split between you and potentially your family.
But to me, the most important point is the fact that somebody needs to be that organized, managerial kind of person who is not overly involved emotionally, but is involved physically, structurally, to the point that they know the good thing must be done.
Hi, Serene.
Hi, Serene.
We'll get you on the list.
Ah, but they weren't paying the bills. So that could just be whatever.
Hopefully they're not spending
We're
the
putting you on
money.
the list, Serene. Um, you're welcome.
Well, and did you finish?
I think I finished. I think you're looking for the idea on whether or not the judge is going to switch the guardianship, I guess, grant you the
Well,
guardianship.
that's the yes. Well, the yes no part is does she have the money? That's true. Um, I think the judge might look at the situation and try to look after her best financial interests here. So I do think you stressing the fact that bills are not getting paid will weigh heavily in your favor. That more to the point of your question. I think this card is key here. And it's also key that don't expect people to be happy about this. And
That's shocking, but not very shocking because I've heard of this so many times. It's
my
sad.
brother was such a great caretaker of my mom's money. I mean,
Even though we thought our relationship was really horrible.
well, our
We didn't like him
relationship
that
with him
much.
wasn't great, but he always did the right thing
He
for
did the
my
right thing.
mom. And we both tried, you know, and so that's really what matters here. But, you know, you seem to have an issue here with that. And look at, you have
The
the
letter.
letter and the mountains. This is going to be a struggle. This is going to be a challenge. This may not be a cakewalk for you. You know, there's going to be some fighting over getting that legal document, that legal guardianship over your mom. Expect it to be an uphill battle. It is not insurmountable, but expect it to be an uphill battle. But now let's ask the real question too is maybe we should do a regular yes no on that. I'm beginning to think maybe we should.
Okay,
It's
I'll
an
use my
important
lost soul again.
I
You
could
want to
do it.
shuffle it?
I could do it with
Okay.
this maybe. Let me do
I
it.
thought you liked my tarot.
I did.
Well, we hope so too. Absolutely. My feeling is, and I don't remember this exactly, but I think sometimes you can reappeal some decisions, or you can try to find another way into the court through probate somehow, or it may be in probate actually.
So not good.
It's so not good. You're right.
And it's so easy to take advantage of you know, the people who are
Some jurisdictions try to have more in
compromised.
place to prevent that. That happened with us a little bit too.
Yeah. Oh,
Count them off, Sally.
probably picked the wrong deck for this. Five. There. Whoop. I knew it. I knew you were going to get the second ace on the 10th card. That's what I was saying to myself. She's going to get a second ace and on the 10th card because 510. I don't know why.
Well, there's no 15 to pull,
Nope.
but who knows, right?
11th card.
Interesting.
I think she will have the money. We're getting a definite yes. So maybe you are acting, you know, even though some time may have elapsed here, you might be acting swiftly enough that it's making a difference so that what money she has will be enough. Because there's a definite yes here.
Yeah, three aces are a definite yes.
I'm so freaked out that I did that.
You'll
I
have to let
thought
us
she's
know,
going
of
to get
course.
the second ace. And then I thought, well, maybe she'll get the third ace on the 13th card, but it came up on the 11th card. Really weird, huh? Anyway, that's what we have for you, Shirley. I wish you so much luck with that.
We
I really
absolutely
do.
do.
We had to I had to call the newspapers to get their driver or their distributor to stop bringing my mom the paper because the person figured out my mom had a compromised mental capacity and was charging her constantly for subscriptions, telling her she never paid. And so, my mom would keep giving her money. And so I had
And
to
then she
stop
let her in
her.
the house.
Yeah, and then eventually I found her in the house. I'm like, what are you doing in here? So we put a stop to her coming to the house anymore. Anyway. And that was early stage Alzheimer's, or
Yeah, it was
probably
pretty early.
mid early stage Alzheimer's. Anyway, I mean, people will take advantage, and even family. It's not a pretty world we live in sometimes. All right, so let's move on. Good luck, Shirley. So wish the best for you. Ari is up, and Ari was talking a lot about her question. I'll have to see. Remind me what it is, Mr. O.
Did Chris tell me that he wasn't looking or ready to commit because he's playing the field, or is there one girl that he started pursuing at the same time?
Well, I think on this one we can throw three cards and see if we get an idea here.
And Ari further says she doesn't believe that there's another girl unless they already had been talking before. Okay, that's speculative.
Well, it's possible they may just not want to settle down
The
yet.
reason you don't believe is because he's not a very social person, okay, and
Hmm.
doesn't go on social media much.
Hmm.
Well, you never know when it comes to women. And he doesn't have many friends. Okay, those are good factors to mention. You're welcome, Shirley. Good luck. Well,
Oh yeah.
I never
Well,
know any more about that. I mean, I have somebody in my family, a number of people in my family, and I don't know. Is that what the new thing is about? I don't know.
it's going to be your deck. Oh wait, no, it is
No,
my
it
deck.
is True Deck.
Ba-ba-bum. Sorry.
You're
I brought
welcome.
out. Where is that cute little deck? My Curious Creatures Tarot by Chrisanne, who did the Lightseers Tarot. This is definitely a curious deck. It's part of our human nature, unfortunately. Selfishness, greediness, maybe some misplaced survival instincts of ours.
Madison Avenue.
Okay, we got the Three of Wands reversed. Whoa! We got the Ten of Swords upright. We got the Ten of Pentacles reversed. Or no, I mean upright. It's interesting. What you got with the Lenormand, Mr. O?
The Stork and the Cross.
Well, I'm really hoping they're not trying to totally fluff or blow you off here, the Sag, but a Ten of Swords almost feels like a backstab here. But we are talking about them and what their motivations are. I mean, in that, is there somebody else? Is there something else? Well, I wonder here if they weren't burned before and now they're just being very cautious moving forward, perhaps overly so. Maybe they just don't want to commit right now. Maybe, they just feel like they need to be more, I don't know, I don't want to say choosy selective, but they're just not ready because they're still nursing some kind of wounds that they can't get over.
Well, the other thing you mentioned is that they're not incredibly socially adept or sociable. So this could be talking about them, not really feeling that impetus to move in that direction where an opportunity for a relationship may exist. And maybe it is motivated by that reverse ten of swords, that maybe the,
It's
you know,
upright Ten of Swords.
what?
It's upright.
Yeah, but they're motivated by that upright ten of swords because they're scared. If they're not socially adept, maybe they fear something that they just don't understand is or isn't more possible.
Well, I think the socially adeptness here, whatever he's talking about, whatever, it just seems as though to me, it just may be about the fact that they've been hurt and they don't really, want to get out there again.
So it's
But
trauma
then
stuff.
again, they don't want to commit either. So I don't know. There might be some inner pain that they are dealing with. Maybe it stems from some childhood trauma. I mean, I can't say. But
Well,
there's some reason for this behavior that doesn't seem to necessarily involve somebody they're pursuing now.
is the family a consideration? There's a ten of pentacles
See?
there,
Yeah.
and do they kind of, oversee and or influence, Chris, or is the trauma possibly rooted from a family connection, and that maybe, they receive bad influencing, all women are bad, they just want your money, they're not going to really be sincere, they'll leave you in a minute, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I kind of sense here a little bit of positivity from this card in that,
True.
well, for them, in that I feel like they ultimately want to settle down and have a long term relationship and a family. I just don't think they feel ready right now. They're just kind of, or, even to get serious with somebody right now. But I think as far as their long term goals go, that is one of their goals. They don't want to stay single
Okay,
forever.
I like that too, then I suppose.
But then we have here, what was that? Is that the cross?
That's the cross.
Doggone it.
I know.
And
Yeah, I don't know where Sonny is today. He's upstairs asleep.
the cross and the stork.
Mhm.
It's almost as if here they fear beginning something new. They fear, beginning something new with someone, getting more deeply involved with someone. They kind of have a lot of long term anxiety about that. So they're not really in a place right now where they feel they can commit to any one person at this
Well, is
time.
it a part of their nature that you just hadn't really figured out yet? Like maybe in the beginning it was okay because it just seemed to be, fun, but as it started to move more serious, then some of their post-trauma stuff or whatever those influences are coming from may have started to resurface for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes whatever we've gone through in life, it just because, some people choose to make it a part of who they are. And so, rather than get over it. And so now maybe they're approaching things very cautiously and maybe more than they have to.
I I
Go
hate to
on.
generalize, but some Sagittarians do get caught sort of in a, overly cautionary, serious, distrusting, about some people or situations.
So I don't know if this is going to make sense to you, but that's kind of what I see here.
Okay, so I was just going to say, Jamie, is that sometimes Sunny only comes out when Kara's around.
And then look who
And then
shows up.
Kara shows up. So either you invoked Kara or Kara is now going to invoke Sunny. And it was a joint effort on both of your parts for some
Well,
reason.
Kara just might have answered the Sunny call because she's connected with Sunny.
Yes, they're soulmates or twin flames
So
or something.
it's funny. That is funny.
All right, so that's what we had, Ari. So I hope that made sense. It was a little bit convoluted, but I think there were some ideas there you could use.
Good to see you, Kara.
Good to see you, Kara. We await Sunny any minute now. I'm looking over the
Yeah.
stairs, but I don't see
Well,
him.
you know what? They're really burnt out by the heat here, so it
So why
wouldn't
is he laying
surprise
there? He's
me.
upstairs, right by the window where it's the hottest.
It wouldn't surprise me if they just sleep through the show.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so
We know
Empress,
Sonny's the star of the show.
he is.
He is. But,
And
like all stars, he can get kind of prima donna like sometimes.
okay, Empress asks an interesting question. Empress says, "Can I ask if I am a victim of black magic?
Ah,
But I don't know if I'm, and I'm too much frustrated, facing a lot of troubles in my life. I'm not rude, but nowadays I'm not in a position to speak softly." Okay, well, certainly that's serious. Let's see. I think I brought just the deck I would use for that
oh,
question.
you just got home. Yeah, you just missed it. I don't know if you like what you got to say, but good luck with that.
Yeah, let us know what you think. I think it was not necessarily the end of the world, but it just sort of seems like, things have to be thought about.
All right.
Okay, so for this question from the
Oh,
Empress,
black
I am going
magic,
to
yes.
use my Shadow Work Tarot. And we're asking whether or not you are a victim of black magic. And if we don't seem to have a very definitive answer, we'll do our yes or no reading, one of two different
Quick
ones we
one.
can do. And the Shadow Work Tarot is pretty in gold. It looks like it's possibly AI generated, but I was definitely drawn to it. So I've used it a number of times already now on Goth Tarot. So if you like it, want to see it more in action, you can go visit that show.
Do you think this? Let me just ask you a quick question, Empress. Is this somebody you know personally, and or is this something coming from social media connections? I'm just curious. We'll get to why in a minute. I guess it could go either way with this card, but I'm just curious.
All right, so the first card is the reversed Page of Cups. Mm. And the next card is the reversed Nine of Swords.
Well, okay.
Another reverse card, and it's the reversed Knight of Wands.
You've got three reversals there.
I know, I don't like that. So here's the garden. Ah, you feel you know who it is. Okay, thank you. Appreciate knowing that. And the Sith. Yeah, you're right, because we were looking at that Ten of Pentacles thinking that that was like kind of that sense of wanting to have that or eventually.
Are you talking to Ari or are you talking to Empress?
I was answering Ari because she asked
Oh,
about, she said she was going to mention something.
yeah, that's what I felt from that Ten of Pentacles. Absolutely.
Okay,
All right,
so
back
Empress
to
may
the
be
Sith.
wondering if it's a relative. Okay, so all your cards are reversed, which is, of course, can happen. Two of them are court cards, the reverse Page of Cups and the reverse Knight of Wands.
So this could be somebody younger than you or somebody who's behaving rather immaturely. Let's put it that way. The Page of Cups reversed could indicate to me that, yeah, this is unsettling you emotionally, whatever it is. It may be, too, that they're doing this because they themselves feel bitter or upset about something. But I will say this. Be careful though to not rush to judgment, even after what we tell you here as to whether this is black magic or not. I think we are going to do yes, no. I'm sort of feeling like it could be from the nature of these cards here, but I just think with the Page of Cups, sometimes we get mixed intuitive signals, and so I'm worried here. You've got to really think about this. It just may be that you might be just picking up some negative energy. Maybe they're feeling so badly about something. Sometimes they don't have to deliberately send out black magic, but negative vibes and energy can come your way as a fallout from strong feelings, right?
Does this page to me represent that maybe they feel you hurt them? Maybe they
Yeah,
feel emotionally you left them, or emotionally they resent you for some reason. So I'm not saying this justifies what they did, but I'm
right.
wondering
Yeah.
if that gives you an idea of where you can possibly resolve it. But if it's their perception versus a reality, then you may be dealing with a jealous, personality who has bouts of extreme emotionality. Now, let's look at the Nine of Swords reversed.
The Nine of, yeah, I that's what's making me think don't rush to judgment on the black magic part of it. The Nine of Swords reversed indicates to me that, try to feel less anxious and don't let fear overwhelm you. If the energy that's being sent out is causing you to feel afraid or attacked, put up your shield better, and just try to, let that energy fall away from you. I feel like it's more of a energetic field than anything, don't you?
Right. I don't know that it's an actual directed attack, but I sort of feel like the person has enough strong emotions that you're picking them up and that it's not a deliberate attack so much as just maybe somebody really overwhelming you with their feelings, which could include some aggressive negative feelings.
Yeah, so because when the Nine of Swords is
I live.
reversed, it's kind of saying we'll add Libra, and I don't know if we'll have time for anybody else
Yeah,
really.
we might close it after Libra.
We're only at 14 readings though, but we've been taking our time a little bit
That's right.
here.
We've been a little nice to people today.
I think
Knight of Wands?
I think here, well, I was back on this. That's right. I did want to say one other thing. This is kind of saying allay your fears. So if you are fearing a psychic attack, it may be an indirect flow of energy that's coming from whatever's happened to make you feel this way about this person. So put up some shields, block that kind of energy, do what you can to try to release that from you. And as we go to the Knight of Wands here, I would just say this. Don't act aggressively in return. I think here this might be a message for you is to don't try to throw anything back at this person. There's a likelihood here of a karmic backlash. I just feel, I don't know, because the Knight of Wands cautions you against kind of reckless behavior and taking chancy risks on something. You're better off, in my mind, looking at the Lenormand following this in cutting off this connection as best you can. If they're really feeling this bad with you, it might be best to avoid contact or try to just minimize this connection as much as possible.
Right. With that Knight of Wands, even though they may not be forcefully directing a spell or sort of energy attack, something could still happen just because they seem to be reckless in some ways and that they don't necessarily have a control they need to have. So with the Lenormand,
See, the sixth is pointing away from that,
yeah, I
right?
think so.
And so that's why I felt that the idea is not so much that they're cutting you, you need to cut them out of your connections.
Okay,
That's about
that seems
networking,
right.
connections, socializing. And so the psych is there for you and it's saying, cut it off.
So if you're pretty sure you know who this is, then probably you should do that. And as far as shielding goes, like we mentioned, that can be as simple as you like if you don't know what we're talking about or your own, personal dimensions. Just saying certain prayers is probably effective.
I'm going to say, let's do the yes, no, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure this really isn't a psychic attack. You'll see what the cards say.
Right. Just to clarify once and all for you, Empress. So
Well,
I'm
if
going
it
to
does
once
say
again,
yes, I'm going to see what the card is about before I.
so I'm going to, are we going to do the three
Do you want to
piles?
do the three instead?
I don't care.
Let's do the three. I
All right.
guess we've been doing it, so let's do it today.
All right. So I'm going to once again use
That's
the
probably why we've been taking a
lost
lot
souls
of
tarot.
readings too. I admit I went back to that. Well,
You're funny.
there are a lot of traumatized, unhealed men out there, but my experience now is showing me there's a lot of traumatized women out there too. And I just got to say, the world, we have some psychic, emotional ailments going on, in the world today. And it's hard to heal those, whether we can blame COVID. I personally feel a lot of this started happening well before COVID, but COVID did not help, you know?
All right, so we only got one ace, so that would tell us
Is
more or
that
less
psychic
that
attack?
it's leaning towards no, that it's not a great chance that it is. Um, the first one is the other cards are the Devil reversed, and once again another King, the King of Cups reversed. There's that ace. So the ace only tells us that it's not very likely. That's what we think. We don't think it, but that doesn't mean that, of course, it's just, unfocused energy kind of overflowing there. So the Devil reversed.
The Devil reversed is saying to free yourself from, this situation. It's probably not healthy for you anyway. I mean, if you think you know who's throwing this at you, then cut them out, but I don't think, like I said, it's a deliberate psychic attack. And what was that one again?
King of Cups
The King of
reversed.
Cups reversed. Clearly, I think emotions are raw here for some reason. And that's why I think, again, it could be some kind of psychic attack. But to me, I feel it's a very unconscious one. It is not dark magic. It is just an unconscious, this energy, these pent up emotions are leading to this. And you can block that. You can definitely get control over that. I hear you there saying you have a headache, etc. Well, in a way, that could be some of the stress and anxiety you're experiencing from this energy. But you can, release this. And I think you can be rest assured it's probably not black magic. So put up some shields. Also, just fortify yourself, strengthen yourself that, other people's negativity has no power over you.
Right. It's very much what you have to keep in mind. And don't let
Yeah.
them do that.
So I
Good luck.
wish you luck with that.
Good luck, Empress.
And Sienna is up. Hi,
All
Sienna.
right. So we were going to close the list, right?
I definitely am, yeah.
Alrighty. I'll put up the signs too.
Whoops.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
And come see
Jackie.
us again. Let us know whatever else is going on.
Hey, you're very welcome. I hope that pans out the way we see it because I think even the yes no kind of reinforced what I think we both were seeing there. All right, it's my deck, right? Yep. And what are we on? We are on Sienna. General reading.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right.
So that's
Let's see here. Oops, what did I do? Uh,
Mm.
too many decks in here. I'm pulling this one out again, not to use though. I have to get this on again. Something went awry. All right, let me put it in between here. A general read for Sienna. Wouldn't you grab?
So our week is mostly normal, and that includes another edition of Happy Hour this coming Saturday. It'll be at 10 a.m. It's normal time, and come and get a happy message from us. One card for everyone. So check it out.
Well, remember who's the stronger of the sexes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I sound biased, but women have to put up with a lot and endure a lot, and men do in a different way. But I have to say, emotionally, women are the stronger creatures. It's our wheelhouse. It is just our wheelhouse. And I do believe that there are many men who have an emotional side and allow their emotional side to dominate. But, as far as some matters go, I think women are the stronger sex in that regard. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. I mean, when you think about it, I'm sure there are men in today's age that feel this way, but how many times do we have to look over our shoulder if we're out late at night and worry about our safety? How many times do we make decisions based out of, fear and anxiety that only women experience? So I mean, I'm just saying,
Another compliment for the Banshee.
oh,
Thank you,
thank
Empress.
you. Thank you so much. I've got some that have kind of a couple, well, one that has loud patterns on it, and I have a purple one that I really like. So I bought a couple of these because they're perfect for around the house and lounging in. So, and they've got pockets. They call them dresses, and I'm kind of cracking up.
But they got
Yeah,
pockets.
maybe I could wear it outside, but I'd wear it with leggings. I don't think it's really a dress. So maybe more like a tunic to me.
Please excuse me. A little tired. And it's Siama, right?
Yep, General Reed.
Alrighty.
Okay, we have the the Eight of Swords upright. I just like the flowers are tied up. That's like the Eight of Swords, I guess. It's funny. Then we have the Lovers reversed.
Oh, thank you. If
Ah,
only you knew what went on behind closed
put up
doors.
that bickering one right now, Mr. O. He made a new
You know
bickering.
what? I don't have it on this show. I have it on
Yeah.
the
And
happy
happy
hour.
hour?
I could put it on right now. I just need a moment to
So
upload
bad.
it.
You're so bad. And now I forgot which way I turned this card over.
Well, it's love, so you can turn it any way you want.
I think it was this way. You know,
The world.
I was playing with it in my hands here. Well, it's interesting stuff here. A little bit up, a little bit down. I got to take a cough drop or drink more fluid here. What do you got?
The ship. The key.
Oh,
Nice.
that's an interesting reading for general reading.
I think so.
I think here, Siama, that you may be worried or coming, what might be coming to you, general reading, is that you're going to worry about making a move or a decision of some sort, whether it's in your best interests or not. And that is the key here. And the key is here, but that is the key is to make sure that the decision and choice or movement that you are making is in your best interests. And the reason I started here is because I feel it's connected to this card. I kind of combining them all together here. The Eight of Swords, well, these two. The Eight of Swords is saying you feel afraid right now to make a move, choice, or decision because you're not sure of whether it's in your best interests or not.
You might feel you're not capable of making the decision because maybe you don't know everything you need to know, or maybe something else is sort of impeding that. Is somebody helping you put
I
it on?
love what you said, Zareen.
Well, thank you.
No, I
I
love
appreciate
that because we want our chat to be lively, vibrant. While we don't want, people to bicker like we do sometimes. But, that's what it's all about sharing and feeling comfortable with one another and being kind of a community. We
Right.
like
If
to,
anybody out there wants to say something about the reading, we welcome that. If they want to jump in and say, well, I think this card means this or whatever, we're open to that idea. So
I
cool.
think that's
Thank
why
you.
Mr. O in particular, but I've used it too, call you all our tarot tribe.
Yes. So to me, this is Siama.
Mhm.
The decision you may need to make feels strained. It feels like maybe it's being held back or it's curtailed. But could you be the one holding it back because you still need to know more, something else? Or because, I'm going to jump ahead to the world, because you're waiting for the option that you think completes it or provides a sense of perfection. So maybe you're putting off an important decision due to those reasons.
Oh, I like that. But I was going to say that, you have to make a decision as to whether to pursue this or not. And if you do make the decision to make the move you're considering making, you need to see it through to
All
completion.
in.
You have to be all in on it. Right, exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking that is. And the key to me here is, you know what? It's time to make your decision. It's time to make your move. Whether you're going to move towards it or you're deciding to move away from it.
It's probably, Siama, something you've been doubtful about, whatever this is, because maybe you can see clearly that there's two or more ways to go here, but you are sort of under the gun in some respects. You're going to have to figure it out.
And, that being said, all of this being said, I'm just going to remind everybody again that Mercury is going to be going retrograde in July. So, I can understand why maybe hesitation might be a good thing, but if it's something you have to make a decision on sooner than later, you just got to do it one way or the other and live with the consequences of that. And I think here that, this might be something worthy for you, but if you can't find the time to see it through or be all in on this at this time, maybe it's best for you to hold back. Maybe you realize that to some extent, which is why,
That's a good
you're
point.
kind of afraid to make the move now.
Right.
So,
Maybe this is actually lining up with what you may have already felt you need to do.
wish you luck with that.
Good
Good luck
luck.
with that, Siama. We're on Mysterious Queen.
I'm Mysterious Queen. I'll look for that.
Oh, you bet we do. We had some serious ones. We don't talk about that much, but we had a separation in our relationship many,
We did?
many moons
We
ago.
did.
We did. And so, you know, it wasn't perfect. And it's not, nothing in life is perfect. If you're striving for perfection, you're going to be in trouble because it's never there. Don't burn your sleeve. I don't want to
That
lose
would be
you.
fitting justice for putting the bunny ears behind your head.
So, nothing's perfect in life. But, if something's important of you and valuable, you try to work things out. You try to make things work. That's all I can say. And it does take work. It's not just a cakewalk. So,
Okay, Mysterious Queeness, may I please ask, what will it be a good decision for me to repeat my degree to get an admission in MBBS medical school? I really want it badly. So you're basically asking if you should go back to school and redo the coursework again or something like that?
confused. I thought you just meant complete your degree.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
maybe I'm wrong.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know.
I'm sorry. That's probably what you were saying. Well, you said repeat, so maybe you meant complete. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't see it. I can't go far enough to get to it.
Okay, I'll read it exactly because I need to know if this is saying repeat the coursework leading to the degree or just complete
There it is.
the degree that you haven't. Do you got it?
Huh. Is it repeat or complete?
Well, I think it's repeat because she wrote that.
Yeah, I saw it. I did find it finally. Sometimes I can.
Ah, you didn't make the 95%, so you want to repeat it for the
I see. I see.
understood. Is it my cards, right?
Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, your cards,
Yeah,
I
we
think.
appreciate that.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Let's grab a deck here. Use something different this time. No, I don't want to use that one. Sorry. I'm going to use the Midnight Boulevard. I haven't used it yet, I don't believe. So I understand. Thank you. And so sorry you have to do that again.
Well, we don't know that.
what she's saying. In order to be admitted, that she needs 95%.
Oh, so it's 95% mark required. Well, then I don't know why we're asking because if you need that 95% and you don't have it, you
Well,
probably
she's asking if it's better for her to try to do that to get the admission, or
will
should
go
she just
somewhere
do something
else.
else?
Okay. All right. I get that.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. We are a little gabby, so everybody may have to wait their turn.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We really do. We're sorry we're taking longer today because we do have a little less readings than usual, at least about 3 or 4 less readings. I think I know why those because we were doing the lengthier yes nos.
So if the answer is vague, we will do the yes or no question to determine a better idea for you. All right, so card 1 is the Page of Cups. It's upright. Card 2 is Strength, which is also upright. And card 3 is the World reversed.
Wow.
So we'll see what that means.
I'm getting such mixed signals here. We probably will need the yes no.
We have the Fish and the Garden. So yeah, there are maybe possible mixed messages here.
Well, I think if you're really passionate about this, the Page of Cups, if you're really enthusiastic and or you really desire, this job and getting a foot in there, then you may have to go back because they're not going to admit you without the 95%, obviously. But I see the strength card and I almost had this feeling in my head when I saw it then maybe you should take the path of least resistance. Maybe you should accept the fact that you may not be able to get into this job and you should seek something else. Maybe you shouldn't push so hard to get in here. So that's why I'm saying there's a real mixed bag here. What do
The,
you
the
feel
Page
about
of
that?
Cups is a dreamer, is a visionary type. And so this represents the idea that not necessarily the highest degree, but it is a fond wish of yours. It is something you really would desire. But maybe, you could see yourself desiring something else, like Banshee suggests.
Well, I think it's just like being, not trying to fight for this so hard. Maybe it's time to look for other opportunities.
I get that from what you're saying there. And of course, another way of me looking at strength might be seeing if there is any available resource in terms of appealing to certain decisions or finding other possible workarounds there, like maybe finding rather than being aggressive and trying to reapproach the situation, finding if there's another way of consideration to approach that. But I think more likely it could be what Banshee's saying, that maybe you should consider something different.
And
The World reversed.
yeah, and it's like, okay, so again, this is talking about not finishing something you started. Well, you did finish your degree, but apparently it is not enough
It didn't give you the world.
to get into right, to this job. And so that could say yes, you're going to have to go back if you want this job, if you feel passionate enough and that this is the only way, to get in there, to go back and try to work harder at it. But then I saw the Lenormand. And the Lenormand is taking me in that other direction again and saying, well, have you really explored out there to see if there isn't some other place for you? That there isn't an abundance of opportunities elsewhere that could be acceptable or make you happy? Maybe this is a matter of exploring something first before you take that step in trying again to redo your degree.
Right, I like that really a lot because I think that this is saying not just really about abundance of choices, but just saying the abundance of what you desire in your life, something stable, something fulfilling, that maybe, another admission in a different school or another course for you to embark upon. Maybe your degree opens you up for something else, another school to be admitted into. But I almost wonder if this is saying that maybe it's not in your best interest to pursue trying to achieve a better grade.
I don't know. I mean, that's why I say I think we got to do the yes no, and I think we should do the regular one again since
All
we've been
right,
doing
let's
it
do
for
that. Do you want to
everybody.
pick a deck?
Yes, I will.
Alrighty.
Um, I just kind of feel here it's very mixed, and it almost seems like it is up to you. But let's see if what this will say.
I see. So this is a matter about the passion that you have to work.
Uh huh.
This has got to be really rough for you, mysterious. And I think this is a thing that happens to a lot of people in their lives too. And it may remain as, a sort of sense of a wound that never quite heals because you realize that either you did or didn't have what you needed to fulfill that.
Well,
And
we
that you
don't
may
always, we don't always end up in the place we hope to be. When I think about my journey in life, I mean, it was always my goal to be a writer and a journalist. I got my undergrad degree in journalism, and it was my goal, to do that. But then along the way, I started working in libraries and I fell in love with working in libraries. And so then I ended up pursuing my higher degree in library science. And so you never know where life is meant to take you.
that's good for us to know that you are not ready to give up. I mean, uh, like I said before, maybe there is a way of going to another medical school. I don't know if it suits, what you want to do, or maybe you do have to really figure out how you can achieve 95 and better. And I like hearing that from you, Mysterious Queen, because we all should have a dream that we feel like we
Absolutely.
can't give up on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Here it is. Oh, you're going to do that one.
Yep, I said.
I see.
I'll explain why.
Are you next, Kelsey? Did we do you already, or are you
No,
next? There you are. Okay. Cue up.
whoopsie.
And I heard you, Kara, too, saying that if we were busy, you might not have gotten in. So we are glad to have you today. It was just kind of funny because somebody was saying they missed Sunny, and I thought if Kara was here, Sunny would be here.
Well, the more you talk about him, he's bound to show up.
We'll see. I think
Now I
he's in a
lost count.
heat coma upstairs. He's sitting near the
Stop
window, and it's
talking.
really hot.
I don't know how many cards I even have here. One, two, three. They're so thin. Six. Okay. Hold on. It's leaning towards no, not going back and redoing your degree. It's not a definite no, though. So you're free to try that. Let's take a look at what we have here. We have one ace that just tells us whether it's a yes or no, and that's the Ace of Cups reversed. Mr. O.
I know. I was looking for her question again. All right.
Well, I know how I asked a yes no. So
Okay. How did you ask it?
I asked if she should go back and finish her degree, which was
Thank you.
really
Don't
the
get mad at me.
question. The King of
Everybody thinks we love each
Mushrooms.
other, remember?
The King of Mushrooms or Pentacles is upright, and the Ten of Pentacles is upright.
Nice try, Kara.
I'm just going to say this, that it almost seems to me, Mysterious Queen, that it's leaning towards no, and it is saying your long-term success may come from somewhere else. What is that again? That one I can't remember.
King of
The
mushrooms.
King of Mushrooms. So I feel this is a successful person. You would be successful long term if you did not go back and get your degree. This is very odd to me. So I don't know. I just feel like you should explore options because, even if you got your degree, is there if you did this, if you pursued this, maybe they would be impressed enough to say, oh, yeah, you're in. But is there any guarantee that they would hire you anyway? That's something you have to think about here.
Well, we're talking about the difference between a medical school and then an actual practice in a hospital or wherever, right?
Yeah.
Just because you graduate medical school doesn't mean that some hospital or whoever automatically hires you.
Yeah, but didn't you say she had to have a 95% to get that job? That's what
Okay.
she said, right?
Yeah, maybe that's why I wanted to see the question again.
Well, I think that was discussed later on here when you asked about it.
I just thought it was 95% she needed to pass the test to get admitted into the school.
All right, Mysterious Queen, I thought you completed your degree. Am I right? And they wanted to see a score of 95% to get the job? Or am I
No,
wrong?
it says admission in medical school.
Oh,
I've read this a couple of times now
how am I screwing up here? Okay.
because you don't believe me.
Either way, it's leaning towards no.
It's leaning towards no.
I'll let you go.
And the idea that I got is that maybe, you still have a degree, you just don't, or you still pass the test, you just don't have what you need to get into the medical school. But even if you do reapproach it and it doesn't work out, you still have a certain level of training or a degree that may allow you to translate into other areas of the medical establishment. Maybe you end up being, a manager in the medical field somewhere or working somewhere else in the medical field.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling funny here. You have success around you, though. You do have long term success around you, despite this no.
I know.
Let's pull these cards off a minute. I want to look at the other cards again for a minute. It's got a little bit complicated on us, and it's partially my fault. I'm sorry I might have misinterpreted some of your question there. I feel here you have the passion, you have the determination, but strength is saying that maybe you need to take a different approach to this whole dream of yours. Maybe you're being too hard on yourself here, and that you just may not. And what's this one? Was that the world? What is that one again?
It's the world
The
reversed.
world reversed. It seems to me that you might even have problems completing what you started here if you did get in. Or if you do try to take the test again, you may have problems still. It's like success is still eluding you. So that's what I'm wondering here. If it's talking about if you're going to take another test, if you're going to go study again and go through all that again, you may not get there. So, and I think the yes no is saying that too, which is kind of bothersome to me. And it again, when I look at the Lenormand, which was the fish, it's just so odd. It almost seems like Mysterious Queen, I'm just going to say it, it almost seems like there is something else out there that you would be far more successful doing and possibly make more money and income at.
But that idea hasn't come to you, and you have a
Yeah.
passion that wants you to keep trying this. So I think ultimately you should try until you realize you can try no more. You may find that there are other avenues that are still open to you where everything you've learned or been able to have as a resource in your life can still apply to somewhere else. But I wouldn't want to dissuade you from your passion. You
Is
just
there any other medical school that you could go to, and try getting in there? I mean, maybe you would do better on their test, or maybe they would accept a little lower than a 95%. I don't know. Or maybe you would do perform better. I don't want to discourage you. I think you should give it a try, but I will say this. The cards are saying that there are some things stacked against you here. You really have to go with your passion and you have to be quietly determined to carry this through. No amount of showing your talents and abilities are going to work here. I mean, you have to really prove it, You have to really prove it through those test results. I think it's going to be an uphill battle.
I
So I
wouldn't.
just want you to be prepared for that.
Right, and I wouldn't discount the idea too that, being a woman works against you because medicine tends to be more male dominated, although that has changed a lot in the last
Yeah.
20 years. But we wish you lots of of success, no matter what you decide to pursue. We really do. Best
Yeah, I
wishes.
can't say it's a definite no, but I do think, you're going to struggle with this. So, hey, if you want to give it a second shot, do it. You might be able to pull it off. 95% is pretty, if you got close
You're
to where
welcome.
you needed to be, then you should try again. You should try again.
You're very welcome. And now, Banshee, we have 5 more readings to
I
do.
know. But here's the reason I'm doing I'm not going to short shrift yes no questions
Sure.
because we've been doing it this way the whole show.
Got it.
Okay.
All right. So
Kelsey is
Kelsey's up. And Kelsey says, KM's feelings towards me. Is
okay.
that how you termed it earlier? No, you're just giving it to us now. That's fine. Okay, so is this my deck? It was my deck last time. It's your deck.
Kara's shouting at Sunny. Well, I don't know what to say. Kara,
I
nice try.
guess Sunny has a new soulmate.
All the cats are very lazy when it gets this hot.
It's
And,
the heat.
yet they still gravitate towards the heat upstairs, although, except for Shadow. Shadow looks for the cooler spots
Yeah, she
upstairs.
likes the tile,
Yeah.
bathroom floor, things like that.
I think they just like to be on their own during the day, which is why they always like to be upstairs because later in the day they tend to come down here and they will sit by here and Sunny will sit in the sun puddles.
So it's seasonal. Like later in the year, Sunny will be out in full force.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's taking a day off.
Kelsey wants to know what KM's feelings towards them are.
Yep, he's taking a day off. All
I
right.
think it's the
So
same.
for this one, I'll use the mermaid
You're
deck.
so welcome, Mysterious Queen. I want to call you Misty. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, because she's passed away. She was younger than me, and I've never met her. I only knew her online. She's sort of like a weird cousin relationship,
Are you
but
talking about Misty a person?
Misty Queen,
Ah,
who
okay.
was my cousin's daughter
Oh,
from a very short relationship he had, and nobody knew that was his daughter until many years later. One of those DNA things. Really crazy story. My other cousin, the sister of that cousin, told me about Misty. So Misty was on my friends list for a while, but Misty passed away. And it's a real shame because I think she was really young. I think she was under 30, under 35. Never got to meet her. I never got to meet my nephew, my older brother's son. I knew him as a child of, well, a toddler, 2 years old. And then they moved away and I never saw him again.
we have the Six of Swords reversed. But following that, we have the Knight of Cups upright. But the Eight of Pentacles reversed.
Okay, I have a story.
I do too, but go on. Yes.
Well, let's throw the Lenormand first. Stork. This kind of confirms it. Letter. So KM KM wants to flip the script because KM feels like they're not done with you. If they've known you before, there's something they need to do, and they want to move in your direction in possible romance or something.
What is this card again? I forgot.
It's the Six of Swords
That's
reversed.
right. Well, I don't know. Things have been stalled between you, there may be the sense of a stall coming or a stall between you now, like nothing's happening. And I don't know if that's why maybe you're asking the question. But I do feel here there are some positive feelings towards you. There's definitely some positive energy, and possibly, as Mr. O said, because knights are a moving card after all. The knights are usually moving on horseback. And so I feel here that there may be some thoughts of moving, in a more loving, romantic direction with you. I think they feel positive and good feelings for you. Um,
Eight of Pentacles
But the
reverse.
Eight of Pentacles reversed indicates to me there again, if I look, this card of movement is between two cards of non movement in a way. Because the Eight of Pentacles reversed is indicating a lack of work towards getting something started, getting something off the ground. Is it because they're afraid to do it? Or is it because they just aren't ready? Um,
You
I'm
know,
not
I had
sure.
said flipping the script, which could work in context, but I think you're more likely right here. I think this is an indecisiveness, or this is maybe even a sense of they don't really know what their next step should be. They don't know how they want to plan this out, but yet still sometimes they feel like they're they're not done here. They need, and maybe this is like coming. Maybe this isn't now, but you know, this is coming. That they they don't want to move anywhere else until they figure out what they need to do here.
Right. They may be in a difficult situation themselves right now and are stuck in some other kind of, I don't want to say like a broken relationship necessarily, but I do think that maybe something is impeding their movement right now.
Are they waiting on a divorce or something legal from another situation before they can start
That's an
something new?
interesting thing you bring up there,
I
though.
just get
Yeah.
a
Oh,
psychic
my eyes
flash there
open.
that maybe there's something legalistic that stops them from fully moving on in a new
It's a
direction.
good point.
Don't know.
I don't know, but that also could indicate that it's possible, since we see movement may happen, that an invitation could be forthcoming. Some new beginning, could happen, could occur here. There's positive energy in the stork and the letter for sure. And if you combine it with that Knight of
Cups.
Cups, like I am, because I do kind of feel this pyramid energy here, that all it takes is for somebody here to make a move. That's what it looks like to me.
Is that you, Kelsey? Or is
Well,
that KM?
is he waiting for you to make more of a move or be more demonstrative about your feelings
You
so
know, I
that
could
he has
almost
a
see
clue?
that maybe they're waiting on you in a way. Maybe they're not, I wouldn't say shy so much, but maybe they just sort of need to get a nudge going in some way. Yeah, this one's yours, Kelsey.
Yeah, we've been reading yours, Kelsey. You might want to wind back at some point. But I'd say here that there's really hope here with the Knight
The
of
Knight of Cups.
Cups. There is some good feelings to work off of here, but I think it's going to take somebody making that first move, or making them feel more confident about making that move.
Right. It just, you're going to rewind it, but it just does seem like maybe they are going to move towards you, but they sort of have some things that they're working through.
They're either working through or they're just not taking care of business right now. And they're being a little lackadaisical, whether it's about their relation with you or whether it's just about something in their life that's really making them feel kind of stuck right now. So,
Well, if you do that and you want to lob a comment at us
yeah,
later, go ahead. We'll be curious.
that's what we have for you. I wish you
Thank
luck
you.
with that. Alrighty,
And we will now move on to
Jamie's.
Jamie's Cowboys. Hey, Jamie's.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that's the new beginning in the letter. That's like an invitation. I do feel that there are some good feelings here.
Ah.
They may be a bit slow, Kelsey, in moving this forward. It just seems to me.
Yes, and I had wondered if like maybe something legally is sort of, obscuring him. I queried on whether they were divorcing or separating or something like that. But it could be other things too. I mean, it could just be that something legalistic seems to block him from making full progress or moving fully in that direction. I'm not sure what that could be though.
Well, it doesn't have to be legal, really, in my opinion.
So you want us to pick Jamie's? Should we just do you a general reading or did you have a question?
Well, let's do a general for July for Jamie.
Alrighty.
How about that?
So that's going to be my deck.
We'll see how you weather the upcoming retrograde.
You're welcome. I'm going to use the Murder of Crows.
You're
You're
welcome,
welcome,
Kelsey.
Kelsey. My Murder of Crows Tarot by,
Yeah, I kind of think he feels pretty good about you. I do.
I have that feeling as well. I love this great artist, Corrado Roy.
It's a strange deck.
But the cards are very large and somewhat difficult for my arthritic fingers to shuffle. I'm getting more arthritic day by day. Banshee gave me a good tip for shuffling. I like to do the riffle, but it was really getting hard with these long cards.
Yeah.
So now I do it this way and it seems to work better. All right. A general for July for Jamie's Cowboys. Upright Ace of Cups.
Oh,
Bam! I like that.
like
We'll
that.
get to that in a minute. Upright.
It's Pentacle, isn't it?
It is, but Knight. No. Uh, it's the Knave. The helmet is always the
Oh, the
Knave.
helmet is the page. Yeah.
Right, the page.
Yeah.
The upright Page of Pentacles. I like these so far. So what
Holy
could
moly.
possibly...
And that's the Ace of Cups and then the
Yes, it
page.
is.
Okay.
Reversed Ace of Wands.
Well, that's odd.
Yeah. Your birthday was yesterday. Oh, you should have told us. We would have done a birthday reading for you.
Well, you
We can
need to
still do
come in
one
at the
next week.
beginning of the show. We could do a birthday reading for you on Thursday, whether you're here or not. We'll do it at the beginning of the show. And, right after I do the card for the collective. And it's good for your entire solar year, if you'd like.
Yeah, we will do that Thursday. It'll be the first reading, whether you're here or not.
You can
That's how we
always
do
find
birthday
and see it.
readings.
Yeah.
And then you can just view it whenever you
Yep.
want to.
I will
And
put it on the calendar, Jamie.
and Zareen, you will be next after this reading. Thank you. All right, so here we have the bouquet and the whip. All righty.
Well, this is a
Interesting
more
reading.
than not a positive reading.
Yeah, I think so.
I think here the Ace of Cups, I think in your personal life, things are going to be a lot more active, a lot more loving. There's going to be some real happy times coming in July. I think that there's maybe you'll be working on things that you are passionate about and that bring you joy and happiness as well. This is very positive, and it could be the start of possibly a new friendship or relationship in your life, something really positive.
Right. If you're not already in a pretty primary relationship, this could be an indication that, something like that could come to you. But it could be the beginning of anything that you might really feel love about or really love doing. So, for example, if you were planning on a vacation with your special friend and it was somewhere you really wanted to go, this could be like maybe you're pulling that together. Something in July that you really want to do or would love doing is going to happen.
Now
Begin.
I see a little bit up and down in business or career, possibly in July. The
That's
page
the
of,
other ace.
yeah, well, it's both of them. It's the Page of Pentacles to me, can be about something growthful starting for you. Could bring you some more income or money or revenue, maybe, or it's something that will really immerse you into studying something, maybe learning more about a particular area or topic that's interesting to you. That it just looks like this is a more, if it's not something in your physical realm as far as career goes, it could have something to do with, just some self study.
Jamie's, I see what you wrote there, and I remember that, of course, that was some of your questions. And we have to tell you, we hadn't mentioned this before, but that happened to us too. Somebody that was a best friend of ours for nearly 20 years, we had to part ways with them, and it really hurt for a long time, and it made us feel untrusting of other people too, in a way, you know.
Yeah, it's still hanging with you. We gotta, you gotta move beyond that. And I'm gonna talk about that in a minute when we get to the Lenormand. And I wasn't even thinking about that situation per se with what I want to say about the Lenormand. But
Now, to
let's move
me,
on.
the Page of Pentacles could be talking about, as a general reading, that maybe you're finding something new and curious you also want to invest time in. It could relate to philosophy or study in a certain way. It's not necessarily you becoming a student again, but maybe on your own terms, trying to do something.
And don't allow certain setbacks, whether it was that friendship that has gone awry, or other things, to steal, your enthusiasm for the other good things coming in your life. Open your heart to new relationships now, because I sense there is something with the Ace of Cups here, that could be positive for you. This, on the other hand, is talking about something that didn't work out. And so I almost feel like this card ties into the Lenormand here. I've got two messages about the Lenormand, and one ties into this card. Do not allow somebody else's negative energy or aggressive energy to rob you of your joy and happiness. You've got to let it go. You've got to let it go because you deserve better than that, right? You do. And so I think here this really ties into that. Or if it's about something maybe that just didn't get off the ground, something else for you, there are better things awaiting you out there. I also think here that this is just about happiness in general. Aggressively pursue happiness in July. Things that bring you joy. If maybe relationships and things you're being kind of wary of right now because of what you've just went through, then do other things in your life that bring you joy. Focus on that. Focus on having good times in July because I think there's a lot of positive energy here for you.
I think I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for her, we understand what it's like to not be able to find closure, to feel closure, you know, didn't happen for you. And I remember my mom, she always used to have lots of dogs all through our life. And the last time she lost a dog, she said she felt so bad about it. And then for some reason, somebody told her, get another one. And she went to get the other dog. And she said her immediate feeling was she felt guilty she was doing that to her other dog. But then the dog kissed her and licked her hands. And she remembered her lost pet, but she knew she wanted to put her love into this one. And that may be how it'll work for you, that you'll find nature abhors a vacuum, and that somebody who could mean just as much may come into your life. It may take time for that bond to totally happen. I'm almost crying a little bit.
I know because you brought up your mom. I get it. So, you
I
know,
was saying that to her and you.
So I think here, and I get it, and I don't mean to, I hope you don't think I'm being hard on you because
No,
I know how hard it is too. I know how hard it is too, but you deserve better and you will have better. But, in order to do that, you are going to have to pursue happiness and joy now. And because you deserve it in your life. You may never get over what you've been through, but you can have happiness and your joy in your life again. You can. So don't ever think you can't. That's all I have to say.
Don't forget to check out your birthday reading on
Good luck with
Thursday or whenever you get around to it.
All right.
Thank you for all your support.
You know, time can be a curse, but time can be a great healer. And, you know, I think you'll find that in time you will be healed. You will be healed from this.
You're welcome. All right, let's move on to Zareen.
All right.
And Zareen asked, does Abdul Rahman love me? What are his feelings? I hope that said that right. Abdul Rahman or Rahman. So that's going to be your deck.
Abdu, love me. What are his feelings? Okay, well, on my deck, here you go. Oh, I haven't used this one yet. Okay.
And don't forget to visit my show, The Emotional Exchanges, on Fridays or thereafter. I do a reading that's good for the week. The top card is the vibe that's coming to you, emotionally speaking. The bottom card is will you get lucky in romance, etc. Hi, Zareen. We're starting your reading now.
Well, sorry, we're well into overtime. Thank you for sticking with us, Kara and Libra, if you're still here. Oh, we got the Ten of Cups reversed. I did not want to see that as the beginning card. Got the Nine of Pentacles reversed. That's not totally bad. But this is just not... Okay. We got the Two of Cups reversed. Well, I want to see you spin that one, Mr. O.
You'll see. Anchor and the Lily. Now, what I think is I'm combining the first two cards. What was this one again?
Nine of Pentacles reversed.
Right. I'm wondering if Abdul comes from a home or family life where emotionality, comfort, and a feeling of protectiveness were not always there, and that maybe he has some problems expressing himself emotionally or has fears, subconscious or otherwise, about security or about how he fares in relationships or in certain situations, because maybe something about his previous past home life wasn't as secure or loving for him. And I don't know if you can verify that or not. And the cards are all reversed because that's the way they came out. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the way they came out. We've had a couple readings with different decks where all the cards are reversed. But that being said, Serene, the cards aren't always bad when they are reversed. The Nine of Pentacles isn't what?
He never expresses his feelings openly. So I was sort of picking up on that, perhaps. I'm not sure if it is because of his past life, but I'm wondering.
I don't think that he has anything personally. This person, Abdul doesn't have anything personally against you. But when I look at the Nine of Pentacles, I was feeling that they're wondering if there is something more that they should be looking for in their life. I don't know if they're ready to commit to any kind of a firm relationship with you at this time. And as a matter of fact, with the Two of Cups here, I don't know if he feels completely compatible with you. The Two of Cups reversed is a relationship that just doesn't work. You know, if you were already in a deep relationship with this person, I would say that it's in trouble. Okay. But if you're not and you're just starting out, and I'm already seeing this, I have this sense that there may be this feeling by him that there's a lack of compatibility and that he should be searching for something else, or there's a lack of something. But now, mind you, it's not your fault. It's just whatever this person is looking for, and he doesn't know if there's a happily ever after here yet or not.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
interesting.
can't, you ended up getting not just reversed cards here, Zareen, but you ended up getting two reversed cards in the cups that specifically tie to relationships and kind of point to relationship troubles.
Well, when I was thinking about his feelings for you, I was possibly thinking these were things that are from his past that shape his judgment or her sense of his feelings. But I can easily see where this is about the now, that you do know this person and that maybe they're searching for their happiness. I think Banshee had it right. They're searching for what makes them feel comfortable
Complete,
and complete, and
fulfilled.
maybe they might see it with you eventually, but right now it doesn't look that way.
That being said, have you known this person a long time or not?
We're not saying that exactly.
Well, he just feels that you might not be the right choice to marry. That doesn't mean he necessarily dislikes you, but it does mean that, it may not be the right choice for marriage or a relationship at this time. But I was just going to say, that being said, it's possible here he just needs to get to know you more. I almost feel like he needs to really, the problem is he doesn't seem to want to settle down right now and anchor himself to you. He wants more time. And so I think here, if he got to know you more, he might feel differently. But right now, I'm not seeing good signs here. So,
So it could very well be that this is the kind of person that really has to be won over on certain respects. That could, like I said,
okay.
still infer something from his childhood or his family life that makes some emotional relationships harder for him to commit to or to see. I mean, maybe he has a hard time with expressing his feelings because of where he has been in the past. I get the feeling.
You know what?
Ah,
here's
okay.
here's what I would say. Keep the conversation going. Keep it going and see where it leads. It's possible he has some doubts right now that maybe the more he gets to know about you, it might make the difference. And I know he's reserved with his feelings and it's unfair. You shouldn't be afraid to ask questions yourself. You know, you shouldn't be afraid to get to know him more and what he is looking for in life, right? So that's all part of the exploration of, when people get to know each other.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. It just may be too early for us
Yeah.
to see where it will go. You might need more time. We would welcome you to come back in a week or two if you've had more of a chance, to talk with him and maybe see where this could go.
Now you are divorced and he is single, but maybe these cards, like Mr. Owitt said, is talking about the fact that he came from a broken relationship and he's kind of wary. He's a little bit wary about, making a commitment right now. He wants things to be more perfect.
Zareen, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you said you're in talking phase, but you feel like you already know you love him.
Mhm.
And you should question yourself about that too. Um, I'm just saying that, to love somebody that maybe has not really felt that they're being drawn to you is not good for either of you.
Well, I think what it is maybe you feel love, but what you're really feeling is, I can relate to this person. This person would be good for me. You feel good about this person, like he could be good for you. And I get that.
More things are coming out. And see,
Oh,
that's too bad too. And And
So it could be why it's playing into this.
yeah,
I can't rule that out, but
this could be referring to that. The disharmony of his previous relationship may color his
it
feelings.
may color his feelings, and he's looking now for a perfection that he can't.
May
We
or
all
may not
can't
exist.
have. We all can't have the perfect relationship, okay? That doesn't exist. And I don't care if people have been together for 80, 100 years and they claim that they claim that they've never had a fight or argument. I can bet you they have. I can bet you they have. But, overall, he's maybe looking for something that's more perfect now, and he's afraid to make a commitment right now. So keep at it. Keep talking. Keep it
We're
alive.
sorry, Christabel. We did close the list. We're sorry.
Yeah, we're way into overtime, and we still got 2 more readings, Christabel. Sorry.
Zareen, the lily is about growth, and maybe this is saying both of you need to take more time to let it grow as it
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
before you say it's not going to work. Hopefully, before he doesn't learn how to express himself.
And you never know. You might have second doubts later along the way, too. So, hey, keep it going, I say for now, despite these cards, because I didn't want to think that these were talking about his past, but maybe they are. So, keep it going. All right. Hopefully, we'll catch you next time, Christabel. Maybe if you can make it on Thursday night. We've been a lot quieter on Thursday nights. All right. Kara is up.
Good luck, Serene,
Wishing you the best, Serene.
and I hope we do catch you, Christabel. Thank you. Yeah, we're almost a half hour into overtime. We still got a couple more readings.
Well, we weren't filling up super fast and we got a little carried
It's
away.
our bad.
Yeah.
So it's my duck.
Yes, and I need cards back.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Serene. Good luck to you.
Thank you. And you could just put those on the table.
Uh-huh. All
And
right. Kara asks, how does Odin feel about my progress for my journey so far?
okay.
All right. I know what deck I want to use. My
Mission Impossible deck? No.
by any means
just
necessary.
I have just any means that that's
That's
funny.
the name of
Yeah.
the deck,
Yeah.
which I thought it was called the Dark Tarot or something, but it's not. It's described as a cross between the Nightmare Before Christmas and one of the horror tarots, I think.
Okay.
I can't quite remember now. I'm sorry. All right, so let's find out what Odin has for you. That's the back of them.
Mr. O is proud of his indie decks. I suppose I shouldn't tell him about some indie decks I'm expecting.
We should not be buying any more. These have nice silvery glint.
Wow. Just keep going, Mr. O. We got all night.
You should.
Oh my goodness. What the hey? Okay.
Odin
Okay.
says pack it in.
No, at least not from my cards. We'll see what Mr. O has for you. How are you doing this, by the way? Is this one of mine or is this
We can do
regular?
it that way. Let's do
I think
that.
we should do mine. We haven't done it today and I think it fits. So, how does he feel about your journey? That is the first card.
You may be
Wow.
off to a good start.
Nice.
He may admire you or feel that you just need to be very decisive, very much unflinching in your resolve, your strength.
I think he feels you've made wise choices already.
You have chosen well.
And that, he applauds you for doing things that are in your best interest, and making wise choices for yourself and not trying to, how should I say this? Um, well, I'm just going to leave it at that. Making wise choices is important here. He thinks if you're, that you are undertaking your path wisely.
So why is this important?
Oh, what do
Because
you?
you're going to be joyless and unhappy. King of Cups reversed.
Well, I think why it's important is because he recognizes that, you know, sometimes it's hard for you, perhaps, to maintain the passion you need to pursue your journey, to move forward with your goals. He feels sometimes you get maybe sidetracked, whether it's because of some things that throw you off emotionally. You get hot under the collar about something, or, you just start losing the passion. You get distracted by other things along the way. But he really thinks overall you make wise choices. However, he knows that you veer off path from time to time.
Maybe Odin remembers that old saying, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. And so the idea could be that sometimes you have to accept what the losses may be or what the hardships may be because you've made those decisions and you will learn to live with them.
So I think he feels too why this is important is because I think it makes you very unhappy when you aren't following the decisions you make, when
I
you
like that.
aren't staying on the journey.
Where will this lead to? Knight of Cups upright. It will lead you to what you
Is
desire.
that oh, okay? Two cups and a sword. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the Knight of Cups.
that's great.
It will lead you to where your desires are. It will lead you to what you really want the most.
I think what Odin wants from you out of all of this, he really wants you to pursue what you're really passionate about and
Yeah.
what will make you feel fulfilled and happy. He wants you to be all in on that,
And
like the knight
and
is.
you would look really fetching on a hyena like that. You would, honest.
Don't give her any AI ideas. I can see it
I
now.
want to see that. I want to see you riding on a hyena with all your battle gear. Just like that. Look at that. Okay, maybe it's a wolf. I don't know. It could be a wolf, I guess. What do you think?
It does look more like a wolf or a coyote, maybe even than a. Well, I don't know. It's got the stripes on the back. You know what?
That's why I thought it was
That's
a hyena.
definitely a hyena. Now that I think about it, that looks more like a hyena. I agree.
Okay, I'm going to do my hyena laugh now. No, I'm not.
And look at this.
Uh-oh. Rip the heart out. Ooh, and splattered in the garden.
So again, this is kind of like connect. Sometimes it's about socializing and all of that stuff and networking, but I'm looking at networking and I'm thinking of the term connection. Connect with what you're passionate about. Connect with your passions.
This is
That's what
this
Odin
is so
wants
right
you to
on.
do.
Yep.
It all just fits together
Yeah,
here.
I mean, because of all the cups, the heart,
Yep.
totally.
Yep. So, wow, Kara, I don't even have to spend like a lot of time on this reading because it's very cut and dry. Very cut and dry.
Odin says you're doing good.
Yeah.
Love your work, and your work will love you.
That's what we have for you. Wow. That's pretty crazy. That reading was crazy.
All right, then. We are on Libra.
Hi, Libra. Last but not least. Right. You're very welcome, Kara.
You are very well.
Sorry, Sunny did not come out for you today.
Yep, nothing we can do about that. Okay, Libra asks a good dreamy one. The female I met in my dream, are we going to meet sometime in real life?
Oh,
That's so curious because I had a dream the night before last, and the person was sort of like shifting genders. It was really weird. I thought, am I going to meet this person? Am I going to meet somebody like this? I
take
did
care,
so far.
Miss V. We feel your pain with the heat. I haven't even opened a single door to know what kind of furnace is going on outside.
Sending love.
And I haven't been upstairs in a few hours now. I can bet it's hot up there. So, uh,
All right.
alrighty.
It's your deck.
Yes, it's your Lenormand.
Then let them go.
So
We're
what do
pretty
they
hot here
need?
too. We're
What
not
do they
gonna.
need? That is the question. Well, then I guess I'm going to use the Raven's
The
Dream.
female of the dream. Will they meet them in real life?
I guess I'll use the Raven's Dream Tarot for this,
Nice.
which I think is just a lovely deck. Oh, it's very hot here. I'm sure heat indices
It's got to
are
be in the
over
90s.
100 degrees. It's probably in the mid to upper 90s here. So
I am not very happy.
I haven't checked. I don't know. I'm trying to escape from it all. It's too much
Ignorance
for
is
me.
bliss.
Too much for me.
Well, let's just go to Montana then.
Yeah, Montana. I think Idaho too. Somebody posted somewhere about snow in Idaho or just said it can even snow in the summer in Idaho.
That's a
So,
song cue. Moving to Montana soon. Frank Zappa.
okay. I don't remember it. I wasn't a big Zappa fan. I don't know why.
It's the one about dental floss.
Okay.
Moving to Montana. It was actually kind of popular. It was on that album that had a more popular one, which I can't remember because my brain is gone.
Well, we may have to do a yes no on this too if we don't, you know. It's interesting because the first card I get is the Eight of Swords upright. Hmm.
Was this your reading?
No,
Okay,
there's no way to do my reading for this one, I don't think.
got it.
The Hermit is reversed. Another 8. The Eight of Pentacles is upright.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is
Two
really kind of.
upright eights. Whoops. Hmm.
What do you got? Wow.
I don't
The
know that that really
Rider.
was a female. I think it might have just been symbolic of something else, maybe.
The Rider and the what?
The fish.
Okay. No, I think something's up here, but I'm not sure. And yeah, it may not be a female. You know, dreams can be funny sometimes, Libra, but it could be. I'm not ruling that out. Not ruling that out. But I sense here some.
Bye, Victoria.
Take care, Miss V. Fate Radio. Well, I'll see what I can do. I think I have something I'm doing tonight, but if I can, I'll do it.
We'll see.
Um, I'm so behind with things. It's crazy. But at any rate, 2 8s is really interesting. You know, and then this card in the middle of the Hermit. I'm getting the feeling here there may be some difficulties in connecting with said person. I think they're out there though. I think that they may be a real person that maybe it came in a dream because there's some karmic connection here, some past life connection. I do feel it and why? Because of the Hermit reversed. I feel like maybe out in the world somewhere they are there. But it would really require some effort, you know, to make this meeting happen. Um, and again, we have here this idea of the fish and the rider, which indicates to me that there may be some movement towards you, but I almost think that this person could get lost in a sea of people. Like they may even be out there now, you know, and they're unrecognizable to you. In other words, they may have came to you in a dream looking a certain way, but maybe there's somebody else already in your circle of people that you don't recognize.
Well, that was a lot to consider there,
I
but
know.
I get the feeling it could be somebody who needs something from you. Maybe they need you to help free them from something or get them out of a situation or move them to another situation. Remember, we had the rider too, and that maybe this might involve, you having to follow a certain procedure or having to really work at it to accomplish that for them. Is it possible that you don't know them, or is it likely you do know them?
Yeah, this
They
is tough.
seem they seem to maybe be somebody that you may have known, but maybe you don't know currently, and maybe they may be coming back into your life. Maybe that's why they want your help, because maybe they feel like you can help them land on their feet. Maybe they were somebody you knew before and you lost connect with them. And the female represents that somehow, a familiarity, because you felt that in a way. You felt like they were familiar. That's why you're asking us, maybe.
Well, I'm wondering here because I'm still sticking with my idea that this could be a past life connection of some sort. I'm wondering here too, when I see the rider and the fish, and of course I'm thinking about the hermit here, is that maybe they will be moving into your circle of friends. Maybe they aren't there yet. Maybe this is somebody that's just going to come into your life. Um, but I have a feeling, I just have a feeling here, they are not going to be in the form you saw them in. In other words, that you won't recognize them from the dream. You might recognize them from characteristics that came out of the dream or other feelings that you got from this person in the dream. But how they come to you and what they look like and whether they're male or female, that is up in the air to me because dreams can be that way. They can be a little bit obtuse. And so, but expect that somebody is out there that has a past life connection to you. And maybe they're back in your dreams to say, we're out here. You may find us again, but it may take a little bit of doing, till you do.
And in a way, that could almost go with what I said too. Maybe I'm feeling it was somebody you knew before, but you lost touch with. But maybe it's just somebody whose soul is connected to yours through a past life.
I think. I really do.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, because, I was thinking here for a moment, but I don't see anything else spiritual here to connect me with this thought that maybe it was somebody on the other side just trying to make a connection with you. But I'm not feeling that from the cards. I think it's more on the physical plane. Yeah. So good luck with that. Wow. Interesting read we end with.
Maybe you'll have another dream and you'll have to ask us more.
Who knows? All right, Libra, that's what we have for you. Good question you had for us there.
I'll be looking for that. I tried to find it, but I'll have to wait till after the show.
We'll check if it's in a DM or wherever, if you send it to his Facebook or our Facebook, whatever.
All right.
All right, we'll find you. I knew you were going to do that. I just knew it. All right, Kara, everybody, thanks. Thanks so much for a great day of readings. We took our time, but we had some really good questions today and great readings and such great comments in the chat, people getting along and people recognizing the community that we have here. I really think
That really feels great.
that feels great. That's exactly the kind of feeling we want.
Thank you, everyone.
So thank you all. Hopefully we'll see you all really soon. And don't forget, if you're still here, Jamie's Cowboys, right? We'll be doing a reading for you on Thursday, a birthday reading.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day or evening. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.